don't know why they don't do that. Why don't they just kind of like at least give you a blanket?
My core temperature was down. Every time I took it, it was like a degree or two lower than it should have been.
Wow.
Couldn't regulate. I was sleeping on bare metal. The first night I was on a concrete floor with a roll of toilet paper for a pillow and nothing else. Begging for a blanket or a pad to sleep on for like 2 days. I think they were supposed to do stuff like that.
Oof. That sounds rough, man.
So yes, that was Stephan Sterns on the day that Maddie's body was found. His girlfriend's stepdaughter, Madeline Soto, her body was found that day. But it's weird, I don't know if he knows yet, because according to the timestamp, it's March 1st. These body cams start at 8:53 a.m., if that time is correct. So he might not know about Maddie being found. Maybe Maddie was not even found yet. So maybe that's why it's so casual, but he is being transported from, I'm assuming, from Kissimmee to Osceola Correctional Facility. I don't know, I gotta look into it. We just got these and I gotta give a big shout out to The Docket. The Docket on YouTube, I'll put the link below, go over there and watch him. I'm sure he's planning to go live with this tonight and he'll go over it in depth. Probably more than I'm doing now. I just want you guys to go watch it. I'm going to give you a little bit of commentary about what you're about to see. So of course Stearns was complaining about, the cop is really nice. And the cop is like, is the temperature better? It must be hot. I'm assuming he turned on the air or maybe the heat. I'm assuming this is Florida, so I'm always assuming air conditioning. And he's asking him, how's the temperature? He's like, better than it was. And then Stearns, it's hard to hear him because you have all this road noise and everything, but you'll hear Stearns start to talk about having to sleep on a concrete floor with a roll of toilet paper for his pillow. Oh, they didn't give him a nice little comfy pillow. And I'm thinking to myself, how did Madeline sleep? How many times did you disturb the sleep of that little girl, Maddie? Are you thinking about that, Stearns, at all? Now, he was just arrested February, I'm doing this from memory, he was arrested Wednesday, February 28th. So this is 2 days later. So he's talking about 2 days with no blanket or no pad to sleep on for 2 days. And the cop is so nice. He's like, must be rough, man. He's commiserating with him, even though I'm sure he knows why Stearns was arrested, why he's being transported. But you have to, if you work in that capacity, it's good to act like this cop is doing. Now, he said, they start talking about honey Ricola, because the cop is like, excuse me, my cough. They're talking about honey Ricola versus berry Ricola. Stearns is back there saying, cherry tastes too medicinal. I'm trying to improve the audio. It's hard to hear Stearns because he's back there. He looks so sad. Of course, he's looking out the window, hopefully thinking about what kind of man he is. The cop does bring up his own child. He's like saying it's hard to get his kid to even take medicine or drink orange juice or whatever. And notably, Sterns did not respond. I didn't check for his visual cues yet. I'm doing a billion other things, but I'm sure we'll be watching this body cam video and analyzing it for years. This again was March 1st, the day Maddie was found, but I guess it's still early in the morning when he was transported. I don't know why he was transported that early. But the cop is asking, your handcuffs aren't too tight, are they? They get into a discussion about music. The cop is taking certain calls. He speaks in Spanish. The cop is asking Stearns his favorite music, and Stephan says classical music like Beethoven. He couldn't name an exact song. They talk about liking classic rock, Queen, Linkin Park, and then they go into a sad story of Chester Bennington. He was the lead singer of Linkin Park, and he took his own life. So they started talking a little bit about Soundgarden, some other bands, Metallica. Of course, Metallica has to always come up in these crime cases, don't they? But I really like Metallica too. Stearns grew up on a farm. He was raised in Georgia. He has a love-hate relationship. He said it was great having horses when he was 10 or 11 years old. He was a kid. They talk about country music, but what trips me out is I'm in the middle of doing this huge deep dive on Stephan Sterns and how he grew up and all the stuff I found. his parents' would-be divorce documents all the drama his mom and dad went through. But it corroborates exactly what I found out here. Sterns being born in Illinois, he talks about. He talks about a rotation, moving from Florida to Georgia, and all of that I just found in these documents. Check for my next video. It'll be a deep, deep dive into Sterns, who he is, what makes him tick. I had to know. Sterns says country music sounds too much alike. I don't agree with him there. Have you ever heard Tim McGraw or KT Oslin, or I could go on and on. Sterns did talk about his Southern California time. He seems to like Southern California the best. In my next deep dive, we'll talk about his MySpace page, SoCal 420, and the stuff. Unfortunately, no photos off of there, but he really relates to Southern California. He talks about growing up in the area near Newport Beach and Laguna, around in there. He talks about the beaches being amazing, and that kind of falls in line with what I'm finding out about him being sort of a mama's boy, or spending a lot of time with his mother, and his kind of being a spoiled brat, from what I'm finding out. Just stay tuned. Next video, you'll hear all that. But Sterns went on and on with this cop, talking about the blue Pacific water, as cold can be, and your muscles can start to seize up if you're in the ocean too long, I guess is what Sterns was trying to say. But boo-hoo, Sterns. He really sounded like, you know, oh my goodness, this mistreatment. No pillow, no blanket for me. And I know a lot of things they do with that turtle suit, as you call it, when they first book them in, how they have to protect them from themselves so they can just stay alive. But there's so much I have coming up. I just wanted to put this out there now. Thankfully, the docket was texting me. That way I went over and I checked my email, and I'm like, oh wow, surprise, surprise, the sheriff's office sent me these videos. I put in so many FOIAs on this case to so many different police departments and so many different sheriff's offices, and seeing who has stuff and who doesn't. I'm surprised they even gave us this. I'm glad they gave it to us. I'm sure people won't feel sorry for Sterns complaining about sleeping on a floor. How about he takes a moment to pray and think about what Maddie endured? I mean, this guy, and he looks very sad. Maybe he's realizing, oh, this might be the last time I'm seeing these outdoors, or who knows. I'm going to close with John 14:6, my favorite verse. Jesus is the way. The verse says, Jesus said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father but by me. So for Stephan Sterns, if he ever happens to see a video like this, I suggest that's the place he puts his hope and trust and faith. Not in Tamagotchis, not in his mom or dad. And his dad has visited him. I forgot to mention in other videos. We'll stay tuned. He waived his appearance. He did not appear in court yesterday. Some people were looking for that. I'll let you go watch all this video. Go check out the docket tonight. And stay tuned, hopefully by tomorrow or so, for this deep, deep dive into Sterns' life. Thank you. Take care.
I'm gonna make it warm for you, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Can you feel that?
A little bit.
Okay. ALT leaving the jail now. Probably less, sir, because we're taking the turnpike down to 192. So we're taking I-4 to the turnpike. So I did, sir. I texted him. Yes, sir, he did. Thank you, sir. Bye. How's the temperature feel?
Better than it was.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Don't know why they don't do that. You know, why don't they just kind of like at least give you a blanket, you know?
My core temperature was down. Every time they took it, it was like a degree or two lower than it should have been.
Wow.
Couldn't regulate. Sleeping on bare metal. The first night I was on a concrete floor with a roll of toilet paper for a pillow and nothing else. Begging for a blanket or a pad to sleep on for like 2 days. I didn't think they were supposed to do stuff like that.
Oof. That sounds rough, man. Please forgive my cough. I've been trying to get rid of it for the past like 2 or 3 days, and prior to that I had a really bad cold. And
I always found the Ricola honeys, the honey Ricolas, do really well to smooth out your throat.
you know, I like those, man, but have you ever tried the berry ones? The Ricola berry?
No.
Phenomenal. The Ricola berry ones, they almost taste like candy.
Yeah, you gotta be careful with them because the honey ones are the same way.
But once you get to the middle part, it's rough though, cause like it's got a punch. You talking about the ones that have like the it's like a gooey menthol inside of it?
The solid ones,
So you haven't had the ones that have like the gooey part in the inside? Those are good until you bite into it and you're like, whoa, like it's a burst of like menthol. Yeah, it is. It is. I just got the regular Hall's cherry. It's what I find at 7-Eleven, so.
I've never been one for cherry cough.
Really?
It just tastes too medicinal.
I can't get my kid to drink medicine. I gotta like mix it in his orange juice. For real, I gotta like literally like, here, drink orange juice because it's good for you. It's vitamin C, and you know, because he will not. He'll literally like not drink his medicine like at all. not too tight, are they?
No.
You're welcome.
Wrists crank them down. Just my hands going down over that. This is
Hello. ¿Cómo? Ok. Por la Turnpike ya pasamos la 528. O sea, cerca de Florida Mall. Sí, pero no lo puse, pero yo puedo acelerar. Sí. Sí, pero no nos vieron. Sí. Pero, ok, voy de camino. Bye. Gracias. Feel your body get back to a normal temperature? Yes, sir. What kind of music you like? You like classical music? Huh. You're the first person that's ever said classical music. Yeah. Classical. Like what? Like give me like a classical song or You're the first one. I've never had anyone tell me classical music. And I actually like classical music. I do. I've never been to like an orchestra or like a concert like that. I've never been to one.
Classical music going in the background, reading, studying.
actually right, because let's take it's not a newer song, but let's say November Rain, right, by Guns N' Roses. What Slash does with the guitar towards the end of that whole track, he literally makes that guitar cry. Like, it's one of those moments where you're like, wow.
Slash is amazing. Like a lot of classic rock too.
I like Metallica.
Metallica's good.
Metallica's my all-time favorite.
Metallica has been an OG for a long time. Queen's a big one for me too.
Queen is, yeah. I haven't seen that latest movie with like the guy that was on the sitcom. I haven't seen the Queen movie
I've
yet.
seen that movie. It's actually it's a great job.
I even like Linkin Park.
Yeah, he's big in Linkin Park. It's such a shame we haven't had a chance to.
Well, he followed along the same lines as this guy from Soundgarden. I forgot his name. Oh my gosh. And then when he went over to Audio Slave, you ever heard Audio Slave? I mean, Audio Slave came out with like one album, and they just crushed it. But classical music, wow.
Sometimes have trouble remembering the names of the tracks, but
You know, the one type of music I never got into was country. I just can't relate to it. I grew up in the city, so not much that I can relate to driving a tractor and stuff like that on some of the songs that I've heard. You grew up on a farm?
Yeah.
Wow.
Acreage in Georgia. It was a love-hate thing. It was great having horses and living over that land. Sometimes we'd pick, a dozen stones every day. And I was a 10, 11-year-old kid. Once pushed away, we had this dumpster with a ramp that we pushed the wheelbarrow's full horse poop on into. Until we pushed it and the wheelbarrow tipped over and took me right with it into the dumpster full of horse poop. Luckily, it's just mostly grass and oats, so it's not.
But it stinks. But why did you work there? Was it like your family's farm?
Yeah, it's my family.
So you're from Georgia?
I've been all over. I was born in Illinois, lived in Georgia, Florida, and California all the time. In rotation for most of my life.
Hello. Sí, está todo bien. Estamos como a 2 o 3 minutos. Estamos en la 192, casi doblando en la Simpson. Bye. See, I was born in Puerto Rico and then I was raised in Boston. So,
That's what changed.
it was. I mean, I didn't grow up in Puerto Rico because my mom left there when I was 2.
Oh, okay.
And I grew up more in Cambridge and like Boston area. So that was like a big city, you know, projects and that's
Interesting locals there.
it's definitely different. Definitely different. And then I moved down here. So
Lived in Georgia, Southern California, Florida. Southern California was nice.
San Diego area.
A little further north than that, towards Laguna Beach. So we're like Newport, Laguna.
California is nice. I've been there twice. I've been there twice.
Nice to visit. Weather's always really nice. At least when I lived there, the locals are really nice too. Easy to make friends, easy to meet people. Beaches are just amazing. Blue Pacific water, cold as cold can be.
Oh, yeah. There's no warmth to that water at all.
Swim for about 30 minutes until your muscles start to seize up.
So once we get here, I gotta go into the interview room and I gotta do the arrest affidavit. Basically, you have two warrants, so I'll let you know what those are. Cabrera, ID 1327 with Osceola with 11015.
Go again, I can't hear you.
Cabrera, ID 1327 with 11015.
1327 Cabrera, right?
Yes, ma'am.
That's the one that you said that's so small. Maybe it was the one they have to say. You said 11015.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Forget to secure your weapon.
Yes, ma'am.